Good morning, everybody. What I'm going to show you in this video is how to schedule a meeting in Teams and then put that as a link in your Moodle course. For those of you working right from Moodle, some of you are struggling with trying to come up with the best way, I guess, to give a link to your students for Teams meetings. And here's one option. I'm not saying it's the best, but given that I am a person who prefers to work from Moodle, this is probably what I would do. Now, know that you don't have to have a team set up in Teams. What I prefer to do if I'm just scheduling a meeting that I'm then just going to send out a link, for instance, when I invite you guys to training sessions, I go to my calendar and at the top right, I say, hey, I need to make a new meeting. And I call it whatever I'm going to call it. I'm going to say demo. You might want to put the day and time of your meeting. You might want to put the topic of your lecture. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to come down here where the date and time are, and I'm going to click there and it's going to give me a calendar. So let's say on Wednesday, I want to have a meeting with my class at 1 p.m, and I'm going to have it last for 1 hour. Now I could hit save and that meeting would exist. The challenge is that's not going to let me share it out to other people. What you have to do, for whatever reason, Teams makes you add one other attendee if you want to schedule a meeting. You can't just schedule it with yourself. So what I do, rather than disturb somebody else, is I actually invite myself using my personal email. And yeah, that means I'm probably going to get an email inviting me, but I know that and I can delete it and it's no big deal. Once you type that in there, you see this pop-up that says invite me. Click on invite, and what you should see change is instead of save up here, you should see send as your button option. So I'm going to go ahead and send that. Now in my personal email right now, I just got an email inviting me to a meeting on the 9th. I don't care about that for our purposes. What I'm going to do now is in my calendar where I just set that meeting, I'm going to click on it and reopen it. And what you see down here at the bottom now is join Microsoft Teams meeting. If I right click on that, I can copy that link. Now I'm going to pop back to my Moodle course. And let's say I wanted right the next thing in this page to be a link to that meeting. Because I want to add a resource in here, I'm going to turn my editing on. I'm going to go down to add an activity or resource. And probably if it were me, I would make these labels. Then in my label, I'm going to go ahead and say Teams meeting. You could put the topic of your meeting or the date or the time. I would probably, for my thinking, go Teams meeting September 9th at 1 p.m. With your mouse, so you can either use your mouse and drag to select all, or you can hit Control A to select all of that. And there's two ways to do this as well. This little chain on the toolbar is to insert or edit link. If you're a keyboard person like me, Control K does exactly the same thing. Pops this open. That link that we copied from our Teams, we're going to paste in that top box. To paste, you either use Control V or right click and pick paste. I strongly suggest you switch this to open in a new window. Insert, save and return to your course. And what your students see now is Teams meeting September 9th at 1 p.m. When they click on that, because it's a link from Teams, it will actually pop open. If they have Teams installed, it'll go right to Teams. If it doesn't, it gives them the option to continue in this browser and they don't have to install anything. It will just open up the meeting and away they'll go. So there's one solution. I hope that helps some of you out.